Hey everyone, this is Tinkering with B-Hav, and I'm B-Hav. Hey, well, as you've seen in my last couple of videos, my wife and I took a trip up into Iowa to do some antiquing, and my plan was to do some filming. I was going to try to, or excuse me, some recording. I was going to record in the store, show you what I found, show you what I bought when I bought it, all that stuff. But I really felt awkward filming in the stores. I said this in my last video, so most of the footage I have is just me holding my camera and walking into the store and saying, "Oh, we're going to go into this one and see what happens." And then it's me coming when I came out of the store. Well, that was a good store, or that wasn't a good store. And I tried editing it together to make a good video, and it just wasn't good. So I didn't want to put it out there. So I decided to do this instead. I'm going to make this video, and I'm going to show you all the things that I got. And I already, that's what yeah, I showed you the lamp already in my first video, and that was a Coleman CQ lamp from the 20s, and I showed you that. So now I'm going to show you the next thing that I got, and it's a pretty simple little thing. It was a Coleman fuel measuring can, and these were used to measure fuel to fill a Coleman iron. And I had one of these, but it wasn't Coleman branded. It was from another type of iron, but it looked almost identical. The difference is this one says the Coleman Lamp and Stove Company on it. Okay, and it says Wichita, Kansas, which is where Coleman's headquarters was. And so I found this one. It was like $10. It wasn't expensive. It's a little rusty, but I'm going to use some of my Evapor Rust on it, and we're going to try to get it all cleaned up and pretty. So this is to fill the iron. You fill it up with fuel, and it's got a hole on the back. You fill it up till the fuel's right at that hole, and then you use this little spout to pour it in, and it measures the perfect amount of fuel for your Coleman iron. So that was my second purchase after the lamp. Okay, and my third purchase I found in another antique store up in Iowa was this. Okay, it was the only Coleman lantern I bought. It is a 237. It's underneath the tape right there. You can't see. This is the original box, and it is a Coleman 237 lantern, and the style is a 2A. They didn't date most of these. Like the early ones, the 1A and B and the 2A and B, they didn't date. So I just have a range, and the 2A was made from 1952 until 10 of 53. So that's the date on this lantern. I'll take it out of here and show it to you. And it's really kind of weird to me, the differences in the 1A and the 2A and the 2B and all that stuff. And I'll explain to you what I found doing some research. Okay, so if you look at the logo here, you can see that says Coleman, and there's a little sunshine. You can see those little rays. Well, the 2As have 13 sun rays. The 1A only has 11, and the 2B has like 19. So that's one of the differences. There's also, if you look, the hole right in here where you would light it through, that's an oval. On some of the newer models, it was round. They changed it to oval. So there was little changes like that, and then that's how they distinguish between the 1A, the 1B, the 2A, the 2B, and so on. So this lantern is actually in pretty good shape. It looks dirty, okay, but that'll clean right off. That's no big deal. That's just old kerosene. And one thing I like about it is a kerosene model, by the way. I forgot to tell you that. This is not a white gas model. It's a kerosene model. And the last video I made of me lighting a lantern was another 237 that I have that I restored. And this will be my second 237. And I think these are neat lanterns, so I'll get this one cleaned up and running also. But one of the things I liked about this is the gentleman at the antique store told me that he cleared this out of an old estate. And the two people whose estate he bought it from were missionaries in the 60s and 70s, and they went to Africa, and they told him that this lantern went with them to Africa. They took it back and forth to Africa. So they're out in some middle of nowhere country in Africa using this for light because there's no electricity in the 60s and 70s. So this lantern is very well traveled. At least that's the story he told me. And you know what? I'm going to choose to believe it, whether it's true or not. Like I said, I'm going to choose to believe it. And that's a story I'm going to tell with this lantern every time I show it to somebody or every time I light it. So that was my next purchase I got. Now on to something else, a little more mundane. But I had one of these, but it wasn't very good, and I found this, and it was almost brand new. It might have been used once, okay, and it had the original box, And this is a heat drum, okay? And this would go on your Coleman 502 stove, and I already had this stove. This didn't come with it. Okay, you can use this, put a pot of coffee on it, put a pot, boil water, do whatever you're going to do. Well, this clips onto it with these little spring clips on the side, like that, and you can pick it up, and it holds on there. Well, you would turn this on and light it and put this on, and this would heat up, and you could put it in your tent, and it would heat your tent. It would radiate heat. Now, I've read mixed reviews on these, whether or not they work really good, but it's still a pretty neat item, and the one I had was in pretty bad shape. They didn't date these. They made them from the mid 60s to the late 70s, so it could be any one of those time frames. But I thought it was in pretty good shape for being as old as it is. It's a lot better shape than the current one that I had, so maybe I'll put that other one up for sale because I probably don't need more than one of them. But anyway, so that was my third purchase. And that ended my Coleman purchases. Those were the only Coleman things that I found on the whole trip. But, as my wife laughed at me for starting this, I started another collection. Well, how about this? I added to another collection. I also started collecting, maybe 4 months ago, Aladdin oil lamps. And I'm going to grab one and bring it over here and show it to you. One second. So this is an Aladdin oil lamp, and it burns kerosene, and it's not pressurized. You just fill the tank up, and it's got a wick, and it burns kerosene. But it's different than most kerosene lamps that you see. Most of them you see have that flat, straight wick, and you light it, and you see the little flame in there. Well, these are different, okay? So these have a mantle, just like as in a Coleman lantern, that sits on top of the wick, okay? So the wick has the flame in it, the mantle sits on top of it, heats up the mantle, and it glows just like a Coleman lantern mantle would in one of these pressurized lanterns I have. So it radiates a more even light, it's brighter light. They say that one of these makes light about like a 40-watt light bulb. So, I mean, it's not super bright, but if it's dark, a 40-watt light bulb is not bad. So, like I said, the way these work, this is called the gallery, okay? This is the chimney, and the chimney locks into the gallery like that, okay? So this is a flame spreader. Air comes through, up through here as it heats up, and it goes out and it makes the flame from the wick spread out into the mantle. And in this raises the wick up and down. This one doesn't have a wick in it, and it's round, and it goes right in here. The wick would be right here. The flame spreader sits in there, so the air comes through and it spreads it. And air also comes up through here, draws in through there. And that's it. And you would light it like this. It would heat up. Then you would take this that has the mantle in here, which this one doesn't because I haven't gotten one yet. And then you'd set it over the flame and twist it on there. And then the mantle in there would glow. And that's your light. And I just think they're pretty neat. And they are... I think they're beautiful also. I just like them. This one is a style is B75. It is a tall Lincoln drape, and they made this model of lamp between 1940 and 1949. Okay, this one was made after 1945 because it doesn't glow in UV light. Before World War II, or not before, but during World War II, before they started saving all the uranium, this was uranium glass, and it would glow green in UV light. But this one does not because it was made after 1945. So it's probably 45 to 49 is when this one was made. And I think it's beautiful. There's no cracks, no chips, no nothing. All I got to do is get a wick and a mantle, and this one will be ready to run. So I plan on burning this. I don't know. I think I might use them in my house. We'll see. Let me show you another one I got. All right. So this one is a B90 diamond quilt, and it was made in 1937. Okay, and it has a Model B burner, which is this part here is called the burner. This is the chimney. The other one was a Model B burner also. They started out with a Model 7, I think, burner. They started making these in 1919, and they made them all the way up into the 70s. They might even still make them. I'm not positive, but I think they stopped sometime in the 70s. I'm still learning a lot about these. I have never lit one. I only own three, and I'm going to get them going. I got to order some parts to get them working. But anyway, this one I think is really pretty too. It's got this diamond pattern on here. It's a two different colors. It's got a brass piece in between it that connects the two, and it's got a chrome burner instead of the brass burner. So after I bought this one, I found out, unfortunately, take the chimney off, that someone had modified the gallery. Like they cut out all this part in here, and they cut out all the part around on the inside here. So I think they turned this one into an electric lamp at some point. A lot of people do that. You'll find a lot of these that have been made into electric lamps where there's a switch and it's got a light bulb in it. And then someone tried to convert it back and they gave me a busted up gallery. I didn't know that until after I bought it, but you can buy these for about $25. You can find people selling used ones for about 25 bucks. That's what I found. So anyway, so that is my B90 diamond quilt from 1937. I just think it's beautiful. I saw it and I might have overpaid for it, maybe a little, but I thought it was beautiful, and I'll never get rid of this one just because it's the favorite one of the three that I have right now. So I got one more to show you. Let me grab it. Okay. This one is a, where am I at here? A B-52 Washington drape. The other one was a Lincoln drape, and it had fancy pattern on it. Well, this one is a reverse drape or Washington drape. Okay, and this particular model was made in 1940. Okay, they have them that look just like this, but this part here is smooth. It's not, doesn't have this texture to it, and this model was made in 1940. And I found out after I bought this one too. Once again, I am learning a lot about these as I go, probably the wrong way. I should have known before I bought them. But this is the hanger for the mantle. So you'll get it, and there'll be a cone-shaped mantle on this, and it locks in the top of this, and then that's what holds it up to burn. So, but I found out that the gallery on this one is the wrong gallery for this burner. This is a Model B burner, and this is a Model 23 gallery, which is a lot newer. And from what I'm reading and talking to people online, that this lamp won't burn well at all with the wrong gallery on. It's not designed for that. So I have to come up with two Model B galleries. So anyway, but this one, like I said, was made in Washington drape 1940. It's a B-52 Washington drape made in 1940. So that is all that I bought on our trip. Well, just to give you an idea of some of the things my wife collects, this is some of the stuff that she picked up over our antiquing trip. It's a wide variety of things. She got this nice swung vase here. She's really into that. Calvin's barking at the screen because there's a dog on there, I think. This is a friendship pattern casserole dish. She's been looking forward to work on a set. This is a snowflake pattern large casserole. She didn't have that. She had the smaller one, but not the large one. You got a pink gooseberry refrigerator dish and a, what's this pattern again?
Which one?
The blue one.
Snowflake?
No.
Oh, butterprint?
Butterprint. Butterprint refrigerator dish, excuse me. And then the Spring Blossom Big Bertha. She didn't have a Big Bertha, and we found this one, and she collects that pattern, so she got that. So this is what my wife picked up on our trip. So if you have any questions about my my purchases, you want to know anything else about Aladdin lamps, I'll try to answer any questions you have, or any of my other Coleman products that I bought. I also wanted to tell you, don't forget to go to my website, tinkeringwithbhav.com. It has links to all my social medias. It also has a link to my merchandise store, where you can get t-shirts, you can get a hat, you can get a sweatshirt if you want. There's a coffee mug, there's phone cases, there's mugs, there's all kinds of stuff that just happens to have my logo on it. So if you go there and order something, great. If you don't want to, don't worry about it. It's not the end of the world. If you like what you see, please share my videos. Follow me on all my social medias. Like it, subscribe to me, whatever you got to do, all that stuff. I really, really appreciate you guys doing that. Um, Once again, if you have any kind of questions or anything, feel free to ask in the comments. Don't be afraid. And that's about all I got. So, this is Tinkering with B-Hav. I'm B-Hav. Thanks for watching.